I was contemplating what to talk about today, and it hit me. The fear of better options, or as many like to call it, FOBO. It's like FOMO's distant, more neurotic cousin. I mean, in the age of Netflix and endless streaming choices, deciding what to watch is almost as stressful as trying to explain Bitcoin to your parents. Almost. Now, FOBO is that nagging feeling that you could be missing out on something better. It's not just confined to our TV screens. It's sweeping into our lives like Taylor Swift into an NFL broadcast. Persistent, hard to get rid of. I mean, we got more choices than ever. It's not just shoelaces, thanks to Amazon. Remember when you could just go to Woolworths and decide between three? Now it's like choose your own adventure book with every chapter an existential crisis. You've all been there, right? You come home after a long day, you're wanting to unwind, fire up Netflix, and suddenly you're in a vortex of choices. Thrillers, comedies, documentaries. It's all like the opposite of trying to pick a candidate in this year's presidential primaries. But it's not just Netflix, folks. It's life. FOBO infiltrates everything. Even our ancestors had it. According to Patrick McGinnis, waiting for the best meant survival. But now, waiting for the best means missing out on life. Probably a lot of sleep. And then there's this study about maximizers and satisficers. Now, I thought those were job titles at a tech company, but no, turns out maximizers are the ones who can't commit. They're the folks who look at a car and think, maybe I need a bigger one later. It's like they're applying a dating app mentality to cars. Commitment is like the holy grail to these people. They're missing out on the psychological benefits of commitment. High-level maximizers cause themselves a lot of grief. You know, it's like they're in a never-ending episode of The Dating Show, always wondering what's the better option behind door number 3. But here's the thing, folks. Commitment, that's the secret to everything. I mean, I didn't know I wanted to do this. I thought I'd climb the corporate ladder, but yeah, life had other plans. I committed to the twists and turns, and here I am talking about FOBO with you. So, in the world of endless options, remember, sometimes the best option is the one you commit to. And if it doesn't work out, well, at least you'll have a good story. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show. Best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. So yeah, this is take 2. I tried to live stream earlier today. Didn't quite work out, but life's like that sometimes. But the fear of better options, it's a psychological phenomenon where people make decisions in case a better option exists. So they fear making these decisions. It leads to analysis paralysis. You've all heard that. And it affects decision making in lots of different areas. Now, Patrick McGinnis, who coined the term, he relates it to evolutionary biology, and technology's role is exacerbating it. So we got maximizers, satisficers, and but the whole key, according to this article, which I'll link in the comments, is commitment. Committing to decisions and promoting consistency, that's how you get long-term success. So that is the big idea for this Big Idea Wednesday that I want you to think about. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, normally, I have an after show where I go through all your comments, but I'm not live. I'm just recording this because the live stream failed. That happens sometimes. Anyway, we've got a number of stories to get to, so let's just get to it. Former UN ambassador Nikki Haley faced a significant defeat in the New Hampshire primary against former President Donald Trump, who secured 54% of the vote compared to Haley's 45%. Despite putting in more time and money in the state than other Republican candidates, Haley's loss in New Hampshire likely diminishes her chances of winning the GOP nomination. Demographics such as being highly educated and having a lower percentage of evangelical Protestants played against Trump's favor. So one of the big things that happened in this state, New Hampshire, was that a lot of people crossed over to vote in the Republican primary, and it turns out that the vast majority of people that voted for Nikki Haley weren't even Republicans. Yeah. You set up a situation where the Democrats don't really have a primary that allow, and you have a state like New Hampshire that allows anybody to same day switch parties. They can participate in the Republican primary. Doesn't really seem right to me. I think if you're a party, you should only have people participating in your party that commit to being in your party. That's just me. I'm not a member of a political party anymore. And guess what? I don't think that I should have a say in a political party's who they nominate, if I can't even commit to being in that party. So they tried. Nikki Haley, didn't work. It did not work in New Hampshire. To me, this is looking like a 50-state sweep. This is essentially over unless some weird things happen, but a lot of people are predicting some weird things happening with this election. So we'll just have to see about that. Next up, I want to tell you about something crazy that happened with Kari Lake. Arizona Senate candidate Kari Lake has called for the resignation of the state's GOP chair, Jeff DeWitt, following the emergence of a recording where DeWitt allegedly offered money to dissuade Lake from running for office. The recording, reported by the Daily Mail, featured DeWitt suggesting that powerful individuals want Lake out of politics. Lake refused the offer, stating she wouldn't accept $1 billion to withdraw from the Senate race. Now, the authenticity of the recording is unverified. DeWitt, who became the state party chair in January 2023, previously worked for Trump's White House bids. Maricopa County GOP chair Craig Berland also called for DeWitt's resignation. Polls indicate a close race for the Arizona Senate seat, with Lake leading in a hypothetical head-to-head against Democratic candidate Ruben Gallego. So this was very, very spicy, very interesting. If you haven't heard it, I am going to play you just a little clip of this recording. Although it is much longer, I suggest that you listen to the whole clip because, you know, often we hear about how things are rigged and how people are paid off and how does this work, but to actually have an audio recording where it's all laid out there, this is juicy stuff. So as always, I will leave a link in the comments to all the articles that I talk about today, and you can go and you can listen to the entire audio recording if you're interested in that. But here is just a taste.
There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me.
Juicy stuff, huh? So, I agree. These powerful people, they should want to sign on and be part of the Kari Lake team, but no, they don't want that. In fact, one of the things that talked about was that Kari Lake said she couldn't join somebody that didn't have an America agenda. If they have a globalist agenda, she's not going to be part of that. I suspect this recording was recorded by Kari Lake. I mean, there's two people there. Obviously, he didn't record it, but maybe there was some kind of recording device left in there from someone else. We don't necessarily know, but this is interesting stuff. Find it odd that it's not really getting the corporate media's attention. They don't seem to be talking about this on the big corporate media. You would think that they would be all about corruption in the GOP, right? Republican corruption, but it does make Kari Lake look good, so you can understand why CNN's not covering it. Anyway, next up, I want to talk about an update, what's happening right here in my state, Oregon. So, Oregon Democrats are proposing to roll back the state's drug decriminalization law due to increased drug use and overdoses. The plan includes reclassifying drug possession as a Class C misdemeanor, reversing a previous law. Critics argue the stricter measures, making possession of deadly drugs a Class A misdemeanor. A special legislative session is set to begin on February 5th to address the issue. And I've mentioned this before. But I like the fact that we live in 50 different states and different states can try different things. My state, Oregon, said, hey, what if we decriminalize all drugs and also let people do drugs in public and also not enforce any laws so that you can shoot up in a public park in front of kids and it's no big deal. Well, that didn't work. Now, I could have told you that that wouldn't work, but it didn't work here. But the fact that we could try it here so that your state could see how it worked, we didn't have to try it nationwide. I think that's a good idea. I think we ought to have test balloons, right? We try things out, see what works, see what doesn't. If a state does something, it works well, and your state says, oh, we can do that too. A state tries something, it's terrible. The rest of the states can see it and go, let's not be like them. So that's a positive thing. That's a positive thing. And so I'm glad that we have this system. We tried it here. It didn't work. Hopefully, we'll have some reform and we'll be able to fix things in the future. So that's the update there. Now, got some streaming news. Netflix is investing heavily in live programming, securing WWE wrestling rights in a $5 billion 10-year deal. Streaming giant added 13 million subscribers in the last quarter, reaching 260 million total. Revenue rose over 12%, surpassing expectations. At $8.8 billion, Netflix aims to expand its entertainment offerings, focusing on live streaming and ad-supported plans, which now account for 40% of signups in eligible markets. The company's fourth quarter earnings reinforce its dominant position in the streaming market as it continues to license popular shows and diversify content. So if you're not familiar, WWE is World Wrestling Entertainment. They're the largest pro wrestling show out there. They have a couple shows. They have Raw on Monday night. That's what Netflix bought. They have SmackDown, which is on Fox every week. But this could have a significant impact on people that are getting basic cable. Because if you're a big wrestling fan, you need to have basic cable up until recently to watch WWE Raw. It was on the USA Network, and so you need to get a basic cable. But if that's the main reason that you had basic cable, now, once it moves over to Netflix, you don't need basic cable anymore, right? So I suspect that there will be more people leaving basic cable for streaming services. I think this is a good move for Netflix. Raw is a very popular show. It gets well over 1 million views live every week. And to be able to get over 1 million people tuning in once a week on Netflix, it's going to be really good for them. So that is the update with that. And people that like wrestling, they're going to get Netflix because they're not going to miss out on it. All right. And now I got one update about Pharma Bro, Martin Shkreli. A federal appeals court has upheld a lifetime ban on businessman Martin Shkreli. In the pharmaceutical industry, the U.S. Second Circuit Court of Appeals affirmed the district court's decision, finding Shkreli liable for nearly $65 million in disgorgement of his involvement in an illegal anti-competitive scheme. The ban was imposed about 2 years ago by U.S. District Judge Denise Cote, who ordered Shkreli to pay the mentioned amount and stay out of the pharmaceutical industry. The case revolves around Shkreli's significant price hike of an AIDS medication, with the court emphasizing the impact on vulnerable populations and the importance of holding executives accountable for anti-competitive actions. Wow. If only the courts would hold executives accountable for anti-competitive actions, because they're not doing that. This is like, oh, I get it. People don't like Martin. Something about him just turns people off. I get it. I understand. People say he's got a punchable face. I get it. He plays the bad guy. That was part of his PR. And he really hyped that up to get publicity. So you're supposed to hate him, right? That's part of the appeal. But we need to have justice that's based on things like what you do, not how they make you feel, right? We shouldn't be doing this on how we feel. It should. All people should be treated the same under the law. We shouldn't say, we don't like how this guy looks, so we're going to be harsher on him. Women should get the same treatment as men under the law. Blacks should get the same treatment as whites under the law. Gays should get the same treatment under the law as straight people, etc., etc. And guess what? Ugly people, good-looking people, they should be treated the same under the law. I don't think that happens, and I do think that we probably are more prejudiced against people's looks than on anything else, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments. And lastly, we got to get to some good news. So here's the good news of the day. Oh, I've talked about this before, but I'm talking about it again. Getting on the dance floor will shred pounds in overweight people, improve blood pressure, and mental health. Recent study found that dancing can lead to meaningful improvements in body mass and waist circumference for individuals who are overweight or obese. The research, based on data from over 600 participants in 10 different studies, suggested that dancing not only aids in fat loss, but also positively impacts various health factors such as blood pressure, insulin sensitivity, physical fitness, cognitive disorders, hypertension, cardiovascular ailments, diabetes, and mental health. Study highlights dance as an ideal, sustainable form of exercise, offering a sociable and enjoyable way for participants to stay motivated. The researchers emphasize the effectiveness of dance improving body composition, especially when compared to traditional dance types. Additionally, dance is noted for its ease of sustainability in comparison to other forms of exercise. So anyway, this study confidently concluded that dance is a highly effective for weight loss. And I've talked about this many times on this channel before, probably because I'm a dance fitness instructor. So I really believe this. I think that dance is one of the best exercises that you can do. And now there's even more research that shows that it's great for weight loss too. So hopefully that might be something to maybe push you to give it a try. Give it a try. Anyway, that is the good news of the day. That's all I have for you today. I'll be back on Friday with a fact check, and hopefully the stream will actually work this time without crashing. So fingers crossed. We'll see. Anyway, do me a favor. If you made it this far, smash the like button. I appreciate everyone doing that. And let me know what you think about today's show in the comments. Until then, Have a great day. Peace.